Hi guys, welcome to another episode of A Tincture of Sense. On today's episode, no questions. So I'm just going to be talking about another set of superstitions today. There's so many of them, that's why we keep going back to it. So on today's episode, I'm going to be discussing two superstitions. Which two am I going to be talking about? Well, you have to watch more to find out. Number one, you shouldn't kill a wall gecko in a house because if you do, the house will collapse. Oh, really? Okay.
Why shouldn't you kill a wall gecko that's running around constituting a nuisance in your house? Well, so that the house doesn't collapse, of course. That's a logical conclusion, isn't it? Apparently, wall geckos are a distant relative of the biblical Samson. Remember him? The physically powerful guy that in one battle single-handedly killed 1,000 men with the jawbone of an ass. And in the final show of force before he died, he brought down a building on himself and his captors, an act that killed even many thousands more. Anyway, back to these pale building destroying reptiles. They don't look very dangerous, do they? Well, quite a lot of dangerous animals don't look very dangerous, but in reality, you'll be well advised to steer clear of them. Now, back to geckos. Killing wall geckos cannot, I repeat, cannot cause buildings to collapse. Why do I say so? Well, look at them. Just take a long, hard look at them. How is killing them supposed to make a house collapse? Will a gecko signal be sent out and an army of geckos come marching to destroy the house in which one of them was killed? Well, only God knows how this superstition started. We can guess though. First guess, people not knowing the difference between correlation and causation. Again, how so? Well, say someone long ago killed a wall gecko today, and tomorrow or the day after, a wall in the house gives way, causing the house to collapse. Rather than blame the collapse on a weak, already crumbling wall that was probably struck too hard, it's obvious that the dead wall gecko or his friends caused the house to collapse, right? If you think this is right, you're wrong. The second guess, the wall gecko had a special significance to some people, and the only way they thought they could stop others from killing them was to create a story about wall geckos causing houses to collapse if they're killed. Now, 100 years ago, how many people would have wanted to test the second theory, since there was a possibility they might lose their house if they killed a wall gecko? 1, 2, 3 people? The truth is, 100 years ago, I probably won't even have tried to disprove the theory.
Number two, a pregnant woman shouldn't walk around during the day, especially when the sun is out, because the evil spirits that roam around in the afternoon, they might come into her belly and harm her baby. But if she has to walk around, if she has to go out during the day, she can protect her baby by tying a specific stone around her waist so that the evil spirits will not be able to enter into her belly and harm the child.
This is quite wild, right? What I want to know is, when did evil spirits start roaming around during the day? I thought they sleep during the day and carry out their evil operations at night. When did that change? Anyway, this is another superstition I didn't even know how to begin to address. As with most superstitions, it's impossible to ascertain how this one got started. As always though, I'll share my opinion on how it began with you all. So, let's go back to say 150 years ago, when some people believed that having twins was a bad thing because one of the twins was a spawn of the devil. Now, since there was no way to know which one was the devil's, both babies had to be killed. And this went on and on until these people were encouraged and stopped from engaging in this terrible practice by someone that knew better. Anyway, I think we can all agree that the science and modern medicine required to explain how women had twin pregnancies was lacking in that day and age, right? Good, we agree. Now, in that same era, what do you think would have happened when babies were born with conditions such as Down syndrome or cerebral palsy? How do you think the medical experts of that age, the witch doctors and the babalawos, how would they have explained these conditions to the parents that brought their children to them for answers? There's a saying about, when you are a hammer, every problem is a nail. So in an age when each and every problem was caused by evil spirits, it's obvious that an evil spirit entered the mother's womb during the day. Or isn't it obvious? Why an evil spirit that roams around during the day? Well, I can bet $1 million that these witch doctors and babalawos would have already attributed other misfortunes to the spirits that roam around at night. Hence, they had to attribute these unexplainable conditions to another set of spirits. Very neat and perfect, right? So, a pregnant woman that wanted to walk around for whatever reason in the afternoon and didn't want a baby to be attacked by an evil spirit had to go around with a rock tied to her abdomen. Yeah, rocks. They've been stopping evil spirits since 1726. You guys just don't know about it. Back to the 21st century. We now have professionals that can explain how eggs split to make identical twins, how multiple eggs are fertilized to make fraternal twins, and how gene defects occur and cause conditions such as Down syndrome and cerebral palsy. Despite all the available information that explains birth defects, some people still choose to believe this superstition. Well, they obviously need something that will help them and help their destiny. I have an idea what it is. Just keep watching and all will be revealed.
Now, for everyone that finds these superstitions ridiculous, well, we're on the same side. Welcome. Now, we need to get more people on our side, and to do that, I need to keep talking about these superstitions and sharing little droplets of liquid, also known as tinctures of sense. Okay, just like this, right? Now, for people that still believe these superstitions and think that they're true, well, you need to get your own dose as soon as possible, okay? So on that note, I'm just going to say thanks for watching. Look out for our next video next week.